Just $10 a month helps the RightWay Foundation continue to transform foster youth futures through housing, mental health, employment, and community.
Welcome back to RightWay Podcast. I'm your host, Franco Vega. We have an awesome guest in the building. He goes by the name of Adrian. I'll run a quick little resume for Adrian, and he'll go in depth about who he is. I've known this guy for, I think, since 1999, Bill Clinton days. You know, we used to work at the city together. He has a background in job development like mine, and now we brought him on board as our director of workforce development. And so he has a great resume, and he'll go into that. But welcome, Adrian.
Hey, thank you, Franco. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the, just thank you for the invitation, man.
Well, let's get in. This is gonna be an awesome interview because we're buddies. It's still, we've been in the trenches for a long time. But go ahead and tell us about who is Adrian. Enlighten the guests.
Well, Adrian is. I was the only child, and I was raised by my mother and my great grandmother. My dad was around early on in my life, and then my parents divorced, and he just didn't have anything to do with me after that. After maybe like a year, he tried to be a pops. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because he was always the kind of guy that went to work and went home and went to sleep. There was no engagement, right?
Wow.
So it was a pops in the house.
Okay.
But he wasn't present, right?
Okay.
So, and that's generational. Like his
Correct.
pops wasn't around, and
Wow.
he thought just being there was enough,
Yeah,
right?
paying
And
the bills and stuff.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. My mom was always like super audacious when it came to life. Like she, read. She was an avid reader. She was always traveling through her books and learning new things. So they grew apart. My great grandmother, when she was 75 when I was born, she was always a big influence on my life early. We called her Mama Chiquita, which means little grandmother. That's pretty much what happened. They got divorced, and then my pops kind of just disappeared, married another woman, and then she didn't want me around, so that was it. So
is your pop still with us?
He's still with us. I've talked to him maybe like 3 times in like the last 30 years, 30 years, something like that. Yeah.
So he has no relationship with your kids, and we can go into your kids now. So
No.
how's your relationship? Tell us enlighten the audience about marriage and kids and fatherhood and all that.
Yeah. So, growing up raised by women, growing up, my mom was an alcoholic. So, especially after the divorce. So I was always out in the streets. And at first, you want to take care of your mom. You want to make sure she's healthy, and you want to make sure you call in. I would drive her to the liquor store at young ages, 10, 12 years old.
Wow.
So I left the house early, at 17, 16, 17, really. I was out, always hustling, working since I was 14. And then didn't really, I was raised by my great grandma and my mother, which is first generation, and my grandma they're both immigrants really, but I grew up, and it was, like culture was just part of my life.
Okay.
But I wasn't politicized until I went to college. Like I went to Hartnell College and West Valley College, and that's when I first got my real education from real teachers. Okay. So then I became politicized, and then started touring with a group of the guerrilla theater actors, teatristas, that were trained by Luis Valdez, which is the playwright of Zoot Suit, and also the director and writer of La Bamba.
Wow.
So only Chicano to ever go on to Broadway. Even today, I think is the only Mexican American to ever make it to Broadway.
Whoa.
So to make a long story short, I started. Like I was working, I've always hustling, always working in warehouses since I was 14, working, sweeping up with, pizza places, just always wanted my own money because my mom was drinking, and I wasn't going to put that on her. So I was always working, bought my own music, bought my own clothes. And then I got politicized in Salinas, California, because I was born there. And then I started touring with these guys doing political satire. Talking about current events through satire, which is making fun of our political payasos,
like the Daily Show does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the Wayans brothers, like talking about real issues, but like making it funny, right?
Okay.
So that's what we did. And I was on tour, and I met my wife. She was a painter. and a writer. She's a poet. She's a poet.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we would travel all the universities to all the Chicano organizations. So we would do like 6 universities on one like turnaround. And I met her, and then I thought she had told me to stay, but she just said, "Hey, how come you guys only like perform and then you leave?" But in my head, I heard from a cute girl like, "Why don't you stay?" And I told my homies, I said, "Hey man, I had my little bag with my flute, some sage in it, some magical other things in it." And I was like, this girl wants me to stay. And they're like, "What? She wants you to stay? We're driving back to Salinas right now." I said, "I'm staying." So I walked up to her with my backpack, and she looked at me. She's like, "You're staying?" And I was like, "Yeah, you told me, why don't you guys stay longer?" But in my head, I thought she wanted me to stay with her. So I thought I was going to get lucky. And,
we got to interview her next. Yeah, I got to hear the rest of it.
So that's how I met my wife.
Okay.
Then, but yeah, she didn't ask me to stay. So I thought, even to the last minute, I thought I was going to get lucky. And we pull up to this nice house, and I was like, "Damn, she's got it going on right here, right?" But it was her mom's house, and I had to sleep in her brother's room. And
holy crap! So you really stayed? Oh my Lord! That's okay.
I stayed that night. Yeah, I stayed that night.
Fast forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so now where's you and this beautiful? Oh well, now you're married. Obviously.
Yeah. So we got 3 beautiful young men that we're raising. One of them's already 24, one's 18, and one's 15. So they grew up with me. Doing the work. Worked in Watts for over 15 years. Boyle Heights, East LA.
Imagine turning 18 and being handed a trash bag with your belongings and nowhere to go. For thousands of foster youth in Los Angeles County, that's reality. At the RightWay Foundation, we provide mental health care, stable housing, career opportunities, and a community that refuses to give up on them. For just $10 a month, you can help rewrite someone's story, from just surviving to thriving. Go to the RightWayFoundation.org and become a monthly donor today, because no young person should face the world alone.
And they grew up in that movement of helping people, man. So
let me correct. Your math is off, because we met in like 1999, 2000.
Yeah.
So you've been not way more than 15 years.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no, but the city part was about 15 years. But,
Okay.
But the work has always been
You've been
I've been working in LA on the streets since 1997. So yeah. So I started at Bienestar Human Services, which I was the only heterosexual program at that organization in 1997. And we started the East Side Youth Connection. Well, the East Side Youth Connection was already there, but we made it stronger, and we started inviting individuals that were doing graffiti, because it was mainly for homies, but we wanted to make it more diverse and on open. Well, we were inclusive before inclusive was a thing, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, hey, we want graffiti artists, we want LGBTQ to feel comfortable, we want everybody to feel comfortable here. So that's kind of where my career started in LA in 1997. And I started the needle exchange program, which is, I don't know if you guys know, with harm reduction, but
correct.
If our listeners know, but so I started, they were like, "Oh, you're an expert in needle exchange," because I had done it up north, but I was just a kid, like just open to new things. So I would, take dirty needles off the street and give them clean needles out of my trunk, illegally at the time in LA. So that was Echo Park in Boyle Heights. So that's kind of how the career started here in LA. Yeah.
Okay. So during your employment, you've never worked with this population, our transition age foster youth. And so just for the audience, we're laughing because it is an eye-opener. We do work with a different population, and it's no fault of their own, but transition age foster youth is a unique population with unique circumstances. So what have you learned since you've been here? Oh,
man. Well, you kept saying that to me, and I was like, man, I've worked with all populations. I know what's up. And I've been here a little over a month. And they're very unique, man, because when you work with like justice impacted, or back in the day we called them reentry, right? They come in categories, right? Like they either gone to certain camps, they've gone to certain systems, and they have similar behaviors. They grew up in the same type of environment. I mean, different from from culture, but you still have like certain rules and certain guidelines that you can frame and understand that young person and how to really guide them. When it comes to foster youth, what I've learned, and I've encountered foster youth here and there, like every once in a while, but not like 100%. Each one is like a unique anomaly. Like it's its own secret pattern that you have to like master, right? Like you have to understand to be able to serve them and give them the services they need. Like you can't, it's like the one program is so hard to identify or to really reach everybody in that group.
Correct.
Because each one has their own individual path. I mean, we do as humans, right?
Yes.
But foster youth, it's like a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get, you know? So I think that's what makes it hard, is that you have to adapt by every second, you know? Like, yeah.
Well, we knew this was going to be longer than 10 minutes, so please come back, tune in again where we talk to Adrian Veliz, part 2, with our Pain to Power. We want to hear more about what he feels or what he has learned working with our population. So tune in next week, people. I want to say peace, God bless, and on behalf of all the youth we serve, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.